Gentlemen, Mr. Barletta, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back in Pennsylvania last week, I hosted a higher education roundtable in the northern end of my district with higher education leaders from all sectors. And a common theme that I heard was that Washington continues to pile on burdensome regulations and reporting requirements. At the same time, we come back and we tell our institutions of higher education that they need to address the rising cost of college, yet we continue to burden them with these requirements. The administrative burden of the Affordable Care Act will be substantial, as we heard today. Dr. Zandris, you know, I have a concern about the non-traditional student, which I believe is becoming the traditional student.
Absolutely.
You know, the student that has to work during the day because they're supporting a family and can only go to class at night. And I know our colleges around the country are trying to accommodate them so that they can get an education, so they could take care of their families and support their families. My question is, what will be the impact on the non-traditional students, since so many of those classes will be taught by adjunct faculty members?
Yeah, thank you for asking the question. You just described 85% of my student body. And the reality is that it could result, the full implementation of this under the current projected standards of 30 hours could actually force us into a position of having to increase tuition by as much as 20%. That 20% burden on many of the students who we serve, who are the adult, working, underserved students of color, in particular, especially in the urban centers, would simply break their backs. Our comments are not about whether or not our faculty should have insurance. Our comments are about whether or not that insurance should be provided by further limiting access to higher education to students who have been underserved for so many decades.
So many individuals may not be able to afford to go to college, or you may have to cut back on some classes.
Very substantial number of our students could never absorb a 20% increase in our tuition. And we have no other pot from which to draw those resources.
I think the theme was pretty clear here today. I know we're really getting back to the same theme here. You know, yesterday I learned at a Homeland Security Committee hearing how the cyber side effects of the Affordable Care Act will affect us, how Americans' personal information will be at risk through hackers of the website, or how convicted felons could be hired as navigators. And today we're hearing how our education system will be impacted. You know, this reminds me of an old saying that sometimes the medicine is more harmful than the disease. Thank you. I yield back the balance of my time.